Now at 9, Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic Senator Kamala Harris went face-to-face last night. The key takeaways of the first and only vice presidential debate of 2020.
And how the Muncie Animal Shelter is adapting to changes from the COVID-19 pandemic.
On weather, we're going to be tracking out Hurricane Delta and its effects coming into Indiana.
University. Live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening and thank you for being with us. I'm Zach Jones.
And I'm Brittany Dobbins. We begin tonight with election 2020 coverage. The first and only vice presidential debate is in the books. This debate tense at times, but nothing like last week's presidential debate.
Candidates took more precautions, including being seated 12 feet apart behind plexiglass safety barriers. Camilla Bernal has the key takeaways from the debate between Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic Senator Kamala Harris.
The face-off between vice presidential candidates Mike Pence and Kamala Harris was still contentious.
He interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish.
The candidates pulling no punches on key issues like climate change, foreign relations, and health care.
If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition,
Thank
they're
you,
coming
Senator
for you.
Obamacare was a disaster.
But from the start, the plexiglass barrier highlighted a huge issue of the campaign, COVID-19. Harris zeroing in on the pandemic's impact.
210,000 dead people in our country. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed.
And challenging Pence on the strategy going forward.
Today, they still don't have a plan. They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does.
Pence, however, echoing President Donald Trump's narrative of success.
He suspended all travel from China. That decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time.
As the coronavirus looms over the election, the Commission on Presidential Debates announcing Thursday that the second presidential debate slated for next week in Miami will now be virtual. The Biden campaign agreeing to the change, but President Trump is telling Fox News he will not participate.
I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about.
In Salt Lake City, I'm Camila Bernal.
Vice President Mike Pence and his wife Karen have canceled their trip to Indianapolis on Friday for early voting in Marion County. The reason for this cancellation is still not known.
And the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals is rejecting a lawsuit making mail-in ballots available to all Indiana voters for the November election. This comes after voting groups and political parties around the state are voicing concerns about potential coronavirus exposure at the polls. The original ruling states that Indiana's mail-in voting only allows people to vote by mail if they fall into one of several categories, like being absent from their home counties or if they are 65 or older. The Federal Appeals Court says these state laws do not violate voters' constitutional rights.
The latest on coronavirus numbers here in Indiana. State health officials reporting 16 new COVID-19 related deaths and 1,488 new cases. Here on campus, a total of 21 new cases have been reported on Ball State's dashboard. 18 of those cases were through BSU's partnership with IU Health. The other 3 are from other sources. There are an estimated 32 cases on campus. To this date, there have been a total of 1,031 cases reported since the dashboard launched on August 17th.
And now, after being available to the public for almost a week, the State Department of Health is lacking data to track COVID-19 cases in a given school. This dashboard shows the current and cumulative numbers of positive cases among students and staff. As of the latest update, there are nearly 3,000 positive cases in schools around the state since the start of the school year. This number only represents about 60% of the state. The other 40% has not submitted any of the data to the database. Indiana State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says technical issues and duplicate entries are partially to blame for the lag.
One Muncie store owner is asking for the community to return the favor after her store is experiencing an unexpected setback.
And NewsLink Indiana's Logan Salzburner spoke with the store owner to share her message. Logan?
I got to reach out to store owner Terry Boudet about how she has helped the community. Well, Boudet has helped the community through both volunteering with the homeless shelter and also offering up her own money and food. She has never expected to have to ask for help herself. For the past 3 years, customers at Ice Cream by Accident have been greeted by store owner Terry Boudet. Boudet moved her business to the south side to offer residents a cheaper and easier food option and grow the community.
So I was here to bring back an old icon that's been here for 60 years to help keep prices low and feed those that can afford, and also deliver to Southside where nobody else wants to.
Boudet's efforts saw a setback when Ice Cream by Accident was broken into in a failed robbery attempt that resulted in a broken window. The video cameras outside the store were able to capture footage of the break-in that Boudet posted on Facebook to identify the 3 women. Boudet said that 2 identifying features was one woman's sweatshirt that said salty vibes and the other's bright shoes. Boudet hopes that by sharing her story, the 3 women will turn themselves in or turn their lives around.
I just hope that by seeing this and by making the community aware that maybe these girls will just turn their life around.
If you have any information about the identities of the 3 women, contact Terry Boudet at 765-896-8775. If you have any information regarding the incident, you can also contact Terry Boudet through her email at rtboudet@gmail.com.
Thank you, Logan. As of now, Hurricane Delta is a Category 3 hurricane. The Gulf Coast is bracing for impact once again in the same southwest Louisiana region hit by Hurricane
Charles,
Laura
many
in
are
August.
still living.
With the hurricane expecting to make landfall on Friday, curfews and evacuation orders have been issued for parts of Louisiana. Watches and warnings are also set for Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, and Texas. This comes as the National Hurricane Center forecasts dangerous winds and life-threatening storm surges. Delta slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico yesterday, but is picking up speed. Now, I know obviously we are having some much better weather than they are in the southern states. Jordan, what can we expect?
Yeah, actually, we're going to turn our focus to Hurricane Delta here in a bit. On satellite right now, we see Hurricane Delta moving through the Gulf of Mexico, but we're not seeing any of that here. Actually, cool temperatures, 57 degrees here in Muncie, 57 up in Fort Wayne, a bit warmer in the capital of Indianapolis, 65 degrees. Currently on campus, 57. Calm winds here, definitely not hurricane force winds, although we will be seeing some effects of that later this week. Tonight, a low of 48 degrees, clear skies, and we're going to be seeing that continue and clear skies through the rest of this week. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Walmart is introducing something new for senior citizens. Find out what it is ahead.
And one other type of business is currently thriving because of the pandemic. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Now, the cost of taking care of a pet has been overwhelming for many owners during the pandemic. NewsLink Indiana's Lily Cedardahl visited the Muncie Animal Shelter to see the impact.
Office manager Ashley Honeycutt says they've stayed fairly busy during the pandemic.
We're a municipality, and so we service the city of Muncie and all of Delaware County. So we were very much essential workers, all of us here.
It was very important that workers at the shelter take extra precautions since volunteers were not allowed during the lockdown. Protocols included closing for 2 months, taking visitors by appointment only, as well as wearing masks, gowns, and gloves.
We've been kind of being guided by the health department here. So it's really kind of up to them. That's kind of we've let them sort of guide us how we want to go.
The shelter has recently gone back to regular adoption prices as the adoption prices had been reduced for the majority of the year. Honeycutt says given the circumstances, she has been fairly surprised at the number of adoptions they've been able to do.
We thought we would see a large influx of people wanting to surrender for financial reasons, but we really didn't see a whole lot of that.
Now the Muncie Animal Shelter has completely opened back up to the public. Visitors are to wear masks and maintain physical distance while at the shelter. Live from Muncie, Lily Cedardahl, NewsLink Indiana.
If you have any additional questions regarding animal adoption in Muncie, you can visit the Muncie Animal Shelter's Facebook page.
Ruby Tuesday has filed for bankruptcy. The chain's CEO claimed that they are permanently closing 185 of their locations. This leaves 236 restaurants open for business. The company was already struggling before the pandemic hit, and they have closed over 200 of their locations over the past few years, but now they are being forced to shut down even more. Their CEO claims that the file for bankruptcy will help them recover from the pandemic.
And on Tuesday, Walmart announced that they are launching healthcare plans available for seniors, this coming just in time for Medicare open enrollment, as insurance companies are competing for the growing numbers of seniors eligible for Medicare benefits. Walmart took the opportunity to help people with the confusing process of enrolling in insurance plans.
Because of the pandemic, people have been spending more time in their gardens and preserving their food. This has led to a rise in in-home canning, causing a shortage of mason jars and lids. Canning lids are single-use, making them an even higher demand than the jars. A spokesperson for Ball brand canning products said that the entire canning industry has recently experienced an unprecedented demand. Product availability is extremely limited in stores and online. The company said it has increased production and found additional manufacturers.
And since the start of COVID-19, businesses, big and small, have been struggling nationwide. However, NewsLink Indiana's Kate Young shows us one kind of business that is thriving.
Wendy Carpenter is an organic market gardener who has been a vendor at Minnetrista for 19 years. She says when the pandemic first hit, she was unsure of what it would mean for her and her business. But while many ran to the grocery store, others turned to local growers.
Normally in March and April, our sales are just kind of like people are starting to get interested in vegetables, but they aren't that high. And this year, we were picking everything to the bone, like we could totally not keep up.
Earlier this year, Governor Holcomb announced that farmers markets are a vital part of Indiana commerce and designated farmers markets as essential businesses during the COVID-19 outbreak. Brett Ellison, the hospitality manager for Minnetrista, says Minnetrista has worked closely with the Delaware County Health Department to make sure the market continues to serve the community safely.
We feel like it's our responsibility to provide a safe space for our vendors and for our guests to come and have access to fresh products.
Although COVID-19 has hurt many small businesses, the vendors at Minnetrista report that their sales have actually gone up.
I have not seen a decline in participation. I think the people that are attending market, they are buying. When they come, they're coming to buy and not just using it as entertainment.
Minnetrista Farmers Market will continue into October, Saturdays from 9 to noon. Kate Young, NewsLink, Indiana.
And today was a beautiful day to spend outside in the garden, whether that was taking a walk outside or whatever it was. But is that weather going to continue, Jordan?
Yes, when we come back, we're actually going to be tracking out Hurricane Delta and its impacts of Indiana after the break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm going to miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back. go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother,
Yes.
you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. The time is now 9:16 and you're taking a look at the East Mall right now. But what you cannot see is how beautiful a day it was outside. Jordan, what can you tell us?
Yes, thanks guys. We did actually see sunny skies today. As you can see, a few clouds in the south, but not really much of anything. However, the big story that we're looking at, Hurricane Delta in the Gulf right now, you can see a little bit of the outer bands of it on radar right now, but that visible imagery also disappearing. Let's look at infrared satellite though. You can see it. Look at the eye right there wrapping up quite often, and very tight eye as well. It's going to be roaring up the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be making landfall in Louisiana in the coming days. More on that in a bit. In the state right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 50s and 60s, 57 in Muncie, 65 in Indianapolis as well. Overnight tonight, we're going to be seeing a low of 48 degrees with very clear skies, bright stars, and winds coming out of the east at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Through the day tomorrow, we're going to be seeing temperatures start out in the 50s, very cold. They're going to rise very quickly, though, into the 70s. We might even touch 80 later in the day, but winds coming out of the south bringing that warmer air with it. Hurricane Delta, back to the main story here. Currently a Category 3 storm in the Gulf of Mexico, making its way up. It will make landfall sometime tomorrow evening as either a Category 1 or Category 2 storm. Winds right around 100 miles an hour when it does make landfall. Moving up now. Let's look at it on Precision Cast and time it out. Here we are. We're going to be seeing that roar up the coast and into Louisiana, making landfall sometime Friday evening. Then we're going to bring in that lot of heavy rain showers to the southeast in Louisiana. Lots of flooding potential with the storm surge as well. Continuing, we're going to be seeing that track into Indiana later on in the week. We're going to be seeing rain showers from that on Sunday primarily. Much needed rain showers for this area as we've been dry these last few weeks, very dry. Over the weekend, we're going to be seeing those rain chances highlighted on Sunday from Hurricane Delta, increasing clouds on Saturday as it's approaching. On our mid-7-day forecast, we can see that the rain chances highlighted on Sunday and Monday. Very warm conditions continuing through this week and into next. Sunny skies, the only chance of clouds we've got there is on the weekend, Sunday and Monday. Temperature is going to be climbing or steadily declining into the 70s, though, sunny skies and drying out after that. Luckily, though, fall temperatures coming soon after the 7 days are over. Back to you guys.
I'm so excited for these fall temperatures. I hate these summer temperatures, but man, I want those fall.
Heck yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, well, tonight in sports, Ball State Esports is putting on a Madden tournament this fall with some big rewards. Find out what those are next.
And we'll get you ready for this week's local high school football action after the break.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not
What
funny.
on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Madison Surface with sports. With no football being played, the MAC has decided to hold a Madden tournament for all schools in the conference to compete in. On October 12th, the Mid-American Madden Championship will begin. More sports video games are being played in esports, and some hope for leagues within the organization. Club President Nathan Valdez saying there have been a few challenges with starting sports video game teams.
So we have always been super vocal with our sports games in our Discord, but the thing is we've run into is the people who play sports games are people who follow sports in real life, which means that they're typically not playing games all day.
Valdez would like to see more sports video games played within the Ball State Esports organization. They are currently taking signups, and you can find them on their social media page. From the virtual football field to Schumann Stadium to Lucas Oil Stadium, being a jack of all trades is a common trait for most NFL players. Former Ball State offensive lineman Danny Pinter proving to be no exception. When he was at Ball State, Pinter even played a little bit of tight end. But since being drafted by the Colts last April, he has proven that he can play anywhere on the O-line. Even Colts play-by-play commentator Matt Taylor is taking a notice.
But I think going forward, the Colts have this guy pegged as more of an interior offensive lineman, which again is even more baffling to me because as his career goes on, he goes from tight end to tackle to now guard, and they even have him working out at center a little bit too.
Pinter's wide skill set is sure to help as his professional career continues. Now let's take a look at a Westdale quarterback who is breaking records. Senior quarterback Eric Harlan of Westdale is now the all-time leader in yards in school history. His record-breaking game came on senior night against the Tinley Tigers. Harlan broke a record that has been standing since 1970 and says it was a humbling experience for him, but also said it wasn't something he set out to break. It just kind of happened. He also spoke on how this shines a light on how great his teammates are.
It was a crazy feeling. It was something that you'd only dream about as a kid, to be able to do something like that. It just shows, I mean, as you know and everybody else knows, football is a very team sport. I wouldn't be able to do that by myself. That comes from my coaches, my line, my running backs, receivers, everybody. I mean.
And speaking of high school football, we've got 7 games for our Delaware County schools. Let's take a look at this weekend's matchups. There will be a total of 4 games starting at 7 o'clock. The 3-3 Blackford Bruins facing the 3-4 Mississinewa Indians. Then we have 2 and 5 Westdale Warriors at the home of the 2 and 4 Purdue Polytechies. Next up, we have 2 and 2 Muncie Central versus 2 and 5 McCutcheon, and then there's the 7 and 1 Eastbrook Panthers facing the 1 and 5 Elwood Panthers. Then kicking off at 7:30, we have the 3 and 4 Yorktown Tigers versus the 4 and 3 Pendleton Heights Arabians. The 5 and 1 Delta Eagles against the 2 and 3 Greenfield Central Tigers. And our final game is 3 and 3 Newcastle versus 5 and 1 New Palestine. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NLI Sports for live scoring updates and much more. Well, you guys, that Newcastle game is pretty close to my hometown, so I might have to stop by and see how that game ends.
All right, I know I'm not a big high school football fan, but I'll be cheering for Newcastle, of course.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Madison. Now, NASA released a new challenge, how you can end up on their social media accounts after the break.
And we'll take a final look at your forecast for the weekend.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. It's time to take a look at our anchor picks. So if you could travel to the moon, what would you take? NASA says it's planning to put the first woman and the next man on the moon in 2024. And it's celebrating with the hashtag NASA Moon Kit. You can use it to post pictures or videos like this one on social media. Just show what you'd pack and how do you fit it into a small space, because NASA says astronauts have to squeeze personal items into kits that measure 5 by 8 inches and just 2 inches high. Well, that blows it for me. I'm not going. If your video catches the eye of someone with the agency, you may see yourself on its social media accounts.
And sticking with social media, I really like this one. A video of a man skateboarding while drinking ocean spray cranberry juice went viral last month. His name is Nathan Apodaca. You can see him singing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac as he rides down the highway. Apodaca says his car recently broke down when he had to go to work, so he grabbed his skateboard and a bottle of ocean spray from his car and recorded himself skateboarding, which caught ocean spray officials' attention. They showed up at his house with a brand new truck filled with their drinks. Apodaca says he couldn't believe it. He can be heard in the video actually saying, "No way," as company representatives explained that the truck was really his to keep.
Wow, now, you know, that kind of reminds me of someone, Zach, that video. A little bit like you, because you love to longboard, but let's check out that final forecast for this week. Jordan?
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're actually going to be seeing rain chances highlighted on this weekend, on Sunday and Monday. Temperatures going to be pretty cool otherwise, though. That's all that I got.
All right, thank you, Jordan. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, tomorrow morning at 8.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.